Hello again, my friends. Once more, welcome to Leopard Street, the cellar. This one, I'm going to be putting in more block detection. Yay! Yeah, unfortunately, this is a wiring one. There is trains running towards the end of it, though. So, yeah, and a little bit of shunting trains around at the beginning. Stick about. This is Leopard Street again. Okay, Spike is round there. This is where everything was left the other day. Was a slight problem. The control computer screensaver kicked in and refused to kick out. So everything kept running, but I couldn't actually stop it without turning the power off. So I'm just shifting a couple of bits of metal around. So Spike is going to come a little bit further up because I need to park a freight train behind him. So drag him around there like that. Stop that. Next up, change point. I think I need to have a look and see who's down here actually. I think that's the Q6. I'll find out in a sec. Let's have a little look. Yeah, Q6 coming around next. Obviously, I have to move things around because I need to lift one of the layout boards out the way to work on the underneath of it. So here comes a freight train. Which, hopefully, we'll have a guards van on the back of it, which will tell me nothing has fell off. Here she comes. Yada 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 yada. And we come nicely and stop there. Release that. Next up, I believe, is going to be the G5, who is going to come round onto the track behind those two. And because I can, a little bit of a whistle, why not? And again, I've got another freight train to bring around behind. This is basically to clear out the lower deck. I don't want to be lifting a board off while there are trains under it, is the thing. So, yep. There we go. Round. That'll do. Yeah, about there will do. Fairly happy with that. Release that. I've now got, if memory serves, the K3 is the last of the lower deck locomotives. Here comes the K3 train. Stop before she goes into the back of the passenger rake. Right, release all of those. Next up is this little lot over here. So what I need to do is adjust the camera slightly. Sorry about that. Let's adjust the camera a little bit. The stand is putting up some resistance. Right, so what's needed now is, first off, is going to be, shift the throttle so I can see what I'm doing, is going to be that J26. Down there. Also likes to make a bit of noise. So why not? And there are more running videos planned. This is just a little, I need to move some trains around. So that corner board is coming out. This is where its block detector is going. And skillfully driving into the camera stand there. It's going to show that sometimes these things happen. Off that, release that. What we now do is bring Bucky back up, who's going to park up around here as well. Where are we? J69. What do you reckon? Yeah. So she's going to come back round and park up as well. I have to say, I'm still really impressed with this little engine. And we shall see how she continues to go. Change a couple more points. And she should come up nicely to where I want her to be, or at least somewhere where she's not going to be in the way is more the point. Ooh, hopefully not going to collide with anything. Right. Dunk. Yeah, well, I'd say hopefully not going to collide with anything. What I actually mean is going to collide with something. Yes. So next up is the N2. I do actually have another one of these. I'll get around to getting a operational at some point. She decided to stop because she's not a fan of running at slow speeds. So I'll deal with that by telling her to go a bit quicker. Expect she needs a good run. Anyway, right. That'll be a job for the not too distant future. Cheshire is the next one down there. Excuse me. So just going to pootling down here. Chamassiere I'm going to have to move by hand because she's still not functioning properly. I do need to get round to sorting that out. Chuff, 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 chuff. As Cheshire rumbles past me. Release. And I'm going to do ding. And ding and ding. And then we're going to set up and bring Scotsman down as well, who's also lurking down there. Right, so that's the trains off that board. That's the interesting bit. So there's a queue of them over there, and a queue of them down here. Right, I'm now going to get this board ready to lift. I'll be back in a sec. Right, next job. This. Built some DTC2s. This is the big brother, the DTC8. Same thing, just has 8 channels. This is a block detector. So I've got a packet there with some chips in it. Bunch of current transducers. A piece of green cardboard. And unlike the 2 where these all come stuck to it, you get little bags with the components in. So there's a bunch of resistors, transistors, LEDs, diodes, capacitors, and of course the all-important destructions, which should have in here somewhere the big circuit board. So I'm going to get on with this, and then I'm going to be back because you don't need to see me build all of this. So catch you in a few minutes. Okay, by the magic of editing, here we are again. A few hours later, that's actually the following day. I did all but the coils on first day of building this, and I've just come down and finished off putting the coils on. So yeah, the little DTC2 boards take about 45 minutes to build. This is a couple of hours, a good few hours, 2-3 hours worth at least. Coils is always the awkward bit. Yeah, especially when the soldering iron wire keeps getting in the way. It's a lovely soldering iron. I hate the wire. Anyway, the next step is going to be installation. Now, before I can do that, I've got some trains to move. And because trains can move themselves, that's what we're going to do. So, over to the layout. Okay, so here we are. This is the underneath of board K. I'm just thinking which one it is there. What I need to do is fit this thing with the DTC2 connected to it. The first question is where? Now, I've marked out over here there's a space for a signal box. It doesn't necessarily have to go where these wires can reach. At the moment, I'm feeding power in to part of this. I might have to change bits of that and possibly put some of these down into the bottom. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I need to work out where the other bit's going. Now, I can take jumpers off here to the DTC8. I don't mind doing that. And then bring jumpers back to feed it from something. So I can actually, I can put it anywhere, really. What I want to avoid, if I can, though, is this sort of area here. This is where the goods yard's eventually going to be. So I might need some bits and pieces around there. There's going to be another couple of feeds over here. It might end up down here somewhere. It's not quite ideal. See whether this will fit onto that reinforcing piece. It won't, unfortunately. Oh, no, mind you, there's a second one next to it. Yeah, I could put that there. And then I can stick the DTC8 itself. It's going to feed into this block over here, though. So, ideally being near to this would help. Wondering about there. And it can go in sort of like that. Its cable can jump down to here. Various blocks. I mean, this side, the blocks this side can be routed directly into it. Others I'm going to have to play around with a little bit. Because quite a few of them actually come all the way down here. Yeah. 4, 5, 6 and that are all down here. Only got 1, 2 and 3 here, which are 1, 2 and no, that's 7. Where's 3? 1, 2, 3. If I follow the wire, I might be able to find it. Now, 1's also over here, and 3's over there as well. Okay. This is, yeah. Now, this goes on to, be careful with this. This goes on to here in a specific way round. It is square, and it will go either way, but I put some extra little supports on to support these sides where I'm screwing the thing into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this now, because then I can see how much space it's going to take up. So let's get that done. Come around here. Hey, it's now Saturday. Somewhat predictably, this took a little bit longer than expected. Board is now in. It's got 8 wires going into the terminals from the 8 block feeds. It's got 8 wires coming up here to the DCC brown input. And it's got a little harness connecting it down to the PCF 8575. And there is power connected to this board to the 5-volt supply over here. It's not yet been tested. I've done a little bit of continuity testing on the other side, which I didn't film because, frankly, you can't see it. Again, I'm going to leave off wiring in the lighting board for now. There's no lights. So, anyway, that should be that bit of work done. While the board is in pieces, I have cleaned this track. So, yeah, just one of those while I can, and I've got the board in pieces, I might as well jobs. I'm going to run the board rubber over it as well, or rather the track rubber. So just down like that. Just because, again, I mean, I can get at this while the layout is assembled. However, frankly, while it's in pieces, why not take the advantage? So yeah. Other stuff I've been working on is I've been following up with my automation software. Now, you saw the previous version in action the other day. Yeah, it's quite basic, really, but it works. I'm working on an enhancement, and the thing I've been experimenting with, I was doing it while I was moving the trains around for clearing this, is tracking where trains are on a layout. Not just I'm controlling them, but where are they? Now, JMRI can do that. However, it has a slight flaw. If a train loses connectivity with the layout, JMRI loses it. It disappears off the block system, and quite obviously, because it's no longer detecting a block. GMRI goes, that block is empty. Fair enough, that block is empty. A few seconds later, a train comes back. GMRI goes, there's something in that block. I wonder what it is. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm slightly modifying the way my code will handle that. So that if things disappear but don't go anywhere, it assumes they've stayed. Anyway, right, let's get this board put back in. I'm going to try and position you so you can see what I'm doing. The space down here is a bit limited, so unfortunately, I don't have the massive amounts of space around the layout some YouTube layout type people seem to have. I envy them. Right, so I now need to put this back on, and it's a tad awkward to work with because of the size of it and because of the limited amount of space I've got. So, right. I'm trying to remember how I did this last time, because obviously I've done this a few times now. I think the board is 2.5 foot wide. The board being 2.5 foot wide is actually a problem. I basically don't have a 2.5 foot reach. So trying to do this from the top basically doesn't work. So I need to find something I can rest part of it on. Right, if I do it on its, put it down onto its end. Yeah. I say it's awkward. If you are building or designing a modular layout, this is something to really, really, really consider quite early on. Is how on earth you're going to shift the modules about. Let's find something I can grab on this. That bit will do for now. Oh yeah, and ceiling height. That's a huge one to consider. Because here, this is constantly banging into the ceiling as I'm trying to... Is it caught on now? Nope, not going to work. I rest that there. I hold that. There's a beam. That's the bit I want. No, it isn't. That's the bit I want. There's a beam across the middle on the underneath. It's not quite in the centre of the weight, unfortunately. And sit on there. Right. And slide that way. This is quite heavy. It's not to the point I can't lift it. I mean, fairly obviously, I've just lifted it. It is a little bit beyond comfortable manual handling. If I do much more testing, I'm actually going to put the rest of the layout back together. So this bit comes up here, goes into there, comes down here. Needs to be held in the right place underneath, otherwise it twists slightly. But when it's all lined up, it just slots straight back in. Can plug that board back in. Now to bring this slot back down. I've made sure there's nothing sitting over that board gap. The other two boards are quite easy to lock in. This one is slightly harder because it is lifting a little. There we go. I'm going to go and connect the rest. Then we're going to start doing a little bit of testing. So, bear with me a second while I go and do this. I'm going to have to clear some rubbish off the track as well. I will be back shortly with all this set up. Right. Here we are, back. Board's reconnected. I've plugged the power leads in on this and board J. DTC8 did its little self-test whereby all the LEDs come on, start for about a second, then goes off. Bucky is sitting in one of the areas. So, if we have a little look at the screen, you can see there's a couple of K blocks. I think it's 1 and 2 saying they are active, which is Brilliant. That's exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to go and move Bucky around. You'll see her scuttling around over here a little bit. And then we can see on the screen as the various blocks change. We've got block 1, block 2. This is slightly... on the layout, I've numbered them sanely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Computer starts at 0. So there's always an off by 1 on it, but never mind. So, yeah. This is road 0, is the input road. Road block 1, which is now occupied. Block 2, which is now occupied. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And obviously those two are going to be a little bit more awkward to test. However, let's give it a go. So, Bucky, off you go. Keep going down. Where's my mouse gone? Keep going down there onto board J, and we're just going to see whether it works properly or not. Yes, down here, K block 1 is showing active, which is good. That'll go inactive as she disappears off behind the behind the Hoover. Never mind. I needed somewhere to put it, and I picked the wrong place. So tell her to stop because she'll rumble over the board join. So down here, K is now inactive. So let's bring her back up. And this is now effectively the station approach. So we're in the final part of the approach, and this actually brings me all the way up to the stop signal. This the inner home for the station. So we have K block 1 active. I'm shortly going to start adding all these to JMRI, but I just want to test them all and make sure they all work first. I'm then going to have to write down which one is which, just to make sure I've got it the right way around before I try and wire anything up. So we come around here. We're going to keep going a little bit further into the station. I need to go past the double slip because I need to run her off onto the other tracks. Chuff, 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 chuff. Tell her to stop. Go a little bit further. Need to clear the slip. And over here and say, Mr. Slip, set that way. Forwards. And she's now going to come down onto the other line. It should be K block 0. So this here should go active shortly. I'm going to run her down the full length of it, but 0 is 0. Set these points as we go. K block 0 active. Excellent. So she's going to carry on trundling down. This is all one long block on the departure block because I don't need to know where a train is on it. I can use the transition to board J to say this is where you need to stop. So I'll tell her to slow down. I want to reset a couple of points over here. So yeah, all of K is now showing as inactive, which is correct. I'm going to bring her back up. And this time she's going to come down onto this road here. Board L still isn't hooked up yet, obviously, so I don't have any detection on that. But I'm going to bring her back down here, and then we're going to roll down into the loco area, and we're going to see if that works. Did occur to me, I probably will put that extra siding road in. It won't have a block detection for a while until I put a second DTC8 in. One thing I did learn while I was doing this, plan where you're going to put things. Yeah. I have had a few issues with where things are sitting. And specifically, lack of space. So, forwards into here. I'm actually going to set the turntable up. I don't think she'll roll onto it, however, because there is a continuity problem with the turntable that I need to fix. haven't got around to fixing yet, so this should show another K block down here should come up. Ta-da! K block 3, excellent. And we should go on to another one shortly. There we are, because this is actually an exit section, so that little first one she went into is, this is where you need to be to stop. So we'll see whether she can actually run up onto the turntable. Good grief, the turntable is working. I wasn't expecting that. The turntable is not working. That was the stay alive kicking him. So yeah. So if I push him off a little, sound has come back on. So that should be K block 8. K block 6. Oh yes, no, yes. Sorry. It's the way I've got them labelled. So again, onto said turntable. Where she will cut out shortly. Back onto this bit of track here, which is again working. So yay! So I've got one that isn't working, which is the turntable block, but I sort of knew that one wasn't going to function. So let's just bring her down here a little bit. Then I need to add it to JMRI, and I've got the station approach set up, which is quite nice and quite useful, I feel. Bucky approves. Crawl her forwards back onto the entrance area again. Yes. So, the next step is adding that to JMRI. I'm going to do that off camera because I've shown adding bits of track and it can be a bit tedious. Then we're going to come back. I'm going to run a train or two around up onto this and give it another test. Catch you in a sec. Okay, things set up. The layout's been reorganized. You can probably guess from the red lines down here, the trains are back under the in Underworld. Scotsman is up here. She's set for an outbound route. All the points are set for a straight out and back. We're not going to go around the main loops. Loop exit signal is showing as red because I've not yet signalled up the incline. So select the Scotsman and off we go. Slowly as we leave the station. Because obviously you have to go slow as you're leaving point work. So that's it for another episode. Today we've put in the block detection on board K. 3 more boards to go. And there's loads more track and other bits and pieces, but I'm not thinking about that at the moment. Bite-sized chunks. So, yeah, doesn't add a vast amount of operability to the layout on its own. When it's all done, it will do though. So it's just a bit easier. And yeah, I like experimenting with things like this. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll catch you all on the next one. As usual, likes, comments, shares, yada, 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 more than welcome. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. Thank you very much and goodbye.